Hello friends, let's discuss this essay topic. Doubter is a true man of science. Doubter is a true man of science. Very interesting topic, and every philosophical topic can be discussed and interpreted in different ways. So what comes to my mind I will share with you. It doesn't mean that what you thought was wrong. So doubter is a true man of science. What it basically means is that someone who is uncertain. Doubter is someone who is uncertain, who is asking questions, who is skeptic. So such a person and such virtues of asking questions, being skeptic and so on, that's a great virtue. So someone who asks a lot of questions is not necessarily dumb or hostile or there shouldn't be any negative quality that we should associate with it, but we should appreciate and we should say that yes, he is a true man of science, that he has inculcated in him the spirit of science. So, to begin with, you could say that how to raise questions, to have the scientific inquiry in mind, how it's a noble virtue, and it also finds mention in India's Indian Constitution. And then you could throw light on a brief history that how science and scientific inquiry has often fought against religious dogmas. So being skeptic is a good thing because that helped people move forward, civilization move forward when several dogmas were addressed and resolved. So, for example, the tussle between the church with reference to that heliocentric model, church and Copernicus and Galileo and all those scholars who challenged certain dogmas. You can throw light on that. I'm not going in detail of that because I assume that you would have already done that. Then, where do else do we see people being skeptic, people being uncertain? That is in science itself. So in science, questions science, scientist questions scientists. So for example, we saw in periodic table how in chemistry in periodic table or in quantum physics or with that Pluto, which sometimes becomes a planet and then we say it's not a planet and again then scientists say it's a planet. Scientists keep revising their theories, they keep questioning the existing theories to question something. That is a very primary principle of science that we see. It's a methodology and it's a spirit that's very much prevalent in science. But now we'll move forward and we'll say that this this trait of asking questions and having doubt, being skeptic, is not something which is unique only to science as a discipline. This isn't no doubt a true raising someone who raises questions that is a doubter is no doubt a true man of science, but such doubters are also found in other disciplines like literature and sociology and political science and so on. There also, they exhibit this trait of science in other disciplines also. I remember I discussed something similar in last year question papers answer that that was like about thinking process and opposition and something like that. I discussed in that as also. So in social sciences, in philosophy and political science, if we see, for example, these ancient Greek philosophers, they had dismissed women and they had compared women with slaves. But subsequent scholars, many of them in the recent history, in the last 100, 200 years, they questioned that wisdom. And the feminist scholars question many of such long held views. So, this spirit of science is exhibited even by people who do not belong to the science discipline. Now, we will extend this further and we will say that science is something which is not necessarily restrained in laboratory. That is, a good doubter who's a good man of science is not found only in laboratories or institutions or academic places. He can be found even in homes. He can be found even in the kitchen. So, the person who is cooking food, if he or she is applying their mind and exist and raising questions about previous recipes or they're testing what they're making, whether it's right or wrong. They're consciously aware of it. They're checking, they're testing, then they're comparing the results. They do so even in kitchen. So kitchen can also be a venue where a doubter, who's a true man of science, can exhibit his love for inquiry. Next, we'll move it further. We'll move further, and I can say that to listen to to ask questions is not out a great virtue, but one more great virtue is to listen to question. So, spirit of science is not just asking questions, but it also is in listening to questions. That is being open to question. Being open to scientific inquiry is also very much important. So, being doubter is sometimes easy. You can be uncertain of others. You can doubt or you can ask questions over others. But what if other people doubt you? Other people question you? Would you be happy? You must not repress that. You must not suppress that. You must be open to that criticism. Also, a good doubter is a person who doubts not only others but who doubts himself also. That would be a true mark of a good scientific person. So, if I apply this, now there is a man who imagine there is a man or there is a person who is very good scientist in chemistry lab or in physics lab or in some other lab. He's a very good scientist in his college, university. But when he comes home, when his wife or when his spouse asks a question and inquires about something or questions some of his or her beliefs, and he gets furious, he he suppresses them, he shows anger, then for this man we will say that his love for science is half-hearted. It's not complete, it's not wholesome, because he is displaying his love for inquiry only in certain institutions, in his official place, not in his personal space. So love for inquiries and ability to doubt and ability to be open to questions should be there everywhere, not just in academic institutions. And now we can extend it further. Now from home, from college, we move to home. Now we can move further, like citizens. On the citizens, there's a great responsibility. The success of democracy depends upon citizens who can ensure, who can ask questions to the government, who can ask questions to the government and are not blindly led by the claims of government. They should compare the claims of government with reports and surveys or what the courts are saying or what journalists are saying, and they should compare all of them. They good citizens should ask questions to all of them and not and don't and shouldn't have blind faith on anyone. And then also we will say that these doubters, these people who are asking questions, they are showing their love for science, the spirit of scientific inquiry, and this spirit of scientific inquiry make would improve the health of our democracy in our institutions also. Now we can go on adding such points. We can also say that a good man of science, that is a person who constantly doubts. Sometimes it's also important to have faith. And a good man who, a man who asks questions, who is skeptic of others, who shows love for scientific inquiry, and some other places he may be showing love for faith also. And let's take some example here. For example, Albert Einstein, one of the greatest scientists of all times, who challenged existing theories. But he had immense faith in religion. He did not discount religion. And similarly, Tagore, who was a man of arts, who wrote great poems, who loved spirituality. He wrote Gitanjali, which is offering to gods, offering of hymns or something like that. He's written a great deal on spirituality. He's a man of arts, but he also showed his scientific inquiry. He questioned the dogmas. In fact, he once even said that nationalism is the refuge of scoundrels. So he was showing his ability to have doubt over the existing dogmas of their time and challenge existing conventions. So what I want to say here is that for some great men, they show this spirit of inquiry, but they also know how to have faith. So having of faith, having ability to have faith on someone is also important. Now we can now go on adding on these things, but somewhere I think we can take a slightly counter position also. We can provide some caution also that one should not be reckless doubter. Having doubt is a good thing, but not reckless doubter. That is cynical, or cynicism is not a good thing. One should not be hostile to everything and be constantly rejecting every proof and every answer that has been given to him. So, a person who believes in science, no doubt he should ask questions. But when sufficient answers are provided to him, worthy answers and are provided to him, then he should also learn how to accept those answers. He should not perpetually be in skeptic mode, always rejecting whatever answers or inputs are given to him. Because scientists, though they ask questions, but they also accept the answers sometimes, and they do not let their ego dictate their actions. So, why you are doubting? It also depends. Are you doubting someone because you're genuinely having a search or a spirit of inquiry or a search for truth, or you are driven by fragile ego that you do not want to believe anyone? That is also important. That is the intention behind why someone is doubting. But having said that, we will come back to the original position and we will say that overall, this ability of doubting, or this trait of raising questions or being skeptic of something, is a good trait in general, and we need that trait. We will come back to the original position, and somewhere on those lines you can conclude this essay that we need that trait, and we need that trait for so many reasons, that we're suffering from so many problems from this field to that field, from peace and progress and stability in the society. And all these things can take place only when people stop having blind faith in some systems and in institutions. For the health of the society, it's important that fresh ideas keep coming up. So fresh ideas will come when questions are asked, inquiries are being conducted. Truth, for truth, you have to put some efforts to find out truth. So on these lines, somewhere we can end this question, this topic. A lot more can be written here, but as of now, this is sufficient, I think. And this is like many other philosophical essays, can be interpreted in different ways. So on these lines, I end this essay. I hope this was beneficial to you all. Thank you.